Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your support as always. Hope you're having a fantastic day. You look great, by the way. We are going to dig in. Shout out 19. We are going to dig into first couple of rounds of women's college basketball NCAA March Madness ratings and check out how they look and how people are talking about them. But right here, we get the number. Of course, Austin did a great straightforward job here. NCAA women's hoop tourney lower without Caitlin Clark effect, but well above other years. First round averaged 367,000 viewers against their networks, minus down 22% from 471,000 last year, but still second best first round ever. When? When was the best? And up 43% from 257,000 in 2023. Now, of course, it says without Caitlin Clark effect. That is not true. That's where I'm gonna say that is not true. It's without Caitlin Clark because the Caitlin Clark effect was definitely there for the ratings because there are a lot of people now tuning in this year to March Madness on the women's side that would not have otherwise done so if not for their experience with Caitlin Clark. And now they're turning in to see Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles and Juju Watkins. Hope she has a speedy recovery. Lauren Betts, Kanaya Latson, Paige, and on and on. And someone will yell at me for leaving someone out. That's why I hate starting lists off the top of my head. But anyway, let's move on to see what we get. Now, this was kind of funny. No surprise here. And we are going to dig into the numbers a little bit more. Yes, you didn't get the memo. Viewership last year was due to the biggest faces. Shout out L. Duncan. Thank you, L. Duncan. Appreciate you as always for your content. For context, L says last year was the biggest on record with two of the biggest faces in the sport. The better indicator of long term outlook for advertisers was 23 to prove it wasn't just a 1 year deal. And those numbers are up 40%, sort of. So yeah, so we're stuck with the Caitlin Clark, and others. Caitlin Clark and others. To that point, we also had this Flora Kelly, ESPN, no surprise there as well. While last year was record setting, beating 2023 was the key indicator we were following to understand whether audience levels for the women's tournament have been permanently raised. Again, doesn't necessarily mean they were permanently raised. And also, why why are we not looking at last year? Shouldn't be they be looking to improve on last year? Why are we just skipping it? We don't even mention why last year was record setting. And again, we all know that this year being better than 2023 was because of the player who played last year that no one seems to want to mention. Even L. Duncan didn't actually say Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, but she did say the two biggest faces. Take that for what you will. Uh, I don't know if this is the one I wanted to scroll down on, but yeah, LOL. Translation, Caitlin Clark really is her. Because again, the reason they're up this year is because of Caitlin Clark. And then to that, as always, they dig in 2024 second round viewership, top four all time. Last year, Caitlin Clark in Iowa, 4.9 million on ESPN in a close game against Virginia. UConn, Syracuse, LSU for Middle Tennessee, and USC versus Kansas all had more than 1.75 million viewers. You can see the difference with the Caitlin Clark game, of course, and then there was also this 3.2 million viewers to watch Caitlin at Iowa play Holy Cross, 762,000 for the LSU game. Who wasn't popular before who now? Yeah, so there you go. And then I thought this was interesting. Um, where is it? Duke, shout out Duke, who I know watches the channel. Appreciate you. He dug in a little deeper. As you can see, the 23 average, 257,000, 8.2 million total. 24, 469,000, just over 15 million total. 2025, 367,000, 11.744 million. Now, if you take out the Holy Cross round one game, which was 3.2 million on its own, you had 11.8 million in 24, still greater than the 11.7 million this year. 5% total viewership down when you take that one game out from Caitlin Clark last year. Just an interesting thing. But I thought this was kind of interesting to see how a few of the ESPN people wanted to wanted to sort of spin it, didn't want to allude to Caitlin Clark at all and say, hey, this is why we're talking about 2023. We're going to pretend last year didn't happen. Although again, a lot of the ratings for this year are because of Caitlin Clark and the Caitlin Clark effect. Also, the reason they're down huge from last year is because no one has truly grabbed the audience and the fans the way Caitlin Clark did. Yes, they have found players that they want to root for because they got into it because of Caitlin Clark, but there is still no one that plays the game the same way that Caitlin Clark does. And like I said, that's going to take some time. You got the young girls who are watching Caitlin Clark now growing up and playing basketball that are going to emulate her style of basketball and her game. And so it's going to take time before those young ladies get old enough that they get into college and they hopefully move on to the WNBA and you see a complete and total shift to the style of the game. And I've talked about that briefly in terms of looking at mock drafts. I still haven't done a video on that and I'll get to it, but there's a lot of them that I'm seeing that other people are doing is a lot of guards in the first round, which is very different, right? I think it was the WNBA, no guard has ever won MVP. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But if it becomes, and it looks like it, a more guard centric style of play, and you get more players playing like Caitlin and players that are quick, good dribbles, they can shoot the three from deep, they can get off of the ground, which is also pretty important in case you were wondering. When you get things like that into the game, it's going to make it more exciting, it's going to make it more entertaining, it's going to make it more fun for everyone to watch. And Duke, by the way, if you are watching, let me know in the comments if I am misinterpreting what it is you're trying to say here, because it looks like what we're basically getting at is 2024 was still slightly higher than 2025, even without that mega Caitlin Clark game in the first two rounds, which kind of puts a damper on the numbers. Last thing that I will lead you with, and shout out to Ben Daniel for letting me know about this, is Nielsen, which of course does the ratings. They boosted, I believe this was end of last year, maybe, because I know it was talk about it with the Super Bowl, but their coverage on home data in the US has gone from 66% to 100% of the US market, which of course means a natural boost to the ratings. So when you take that into consideration, that also lessens the impact of these numbers, and the growth that you're seeing isn't necessarily completely accurate when comparing it to 2023. So there's that as well. But anyway, I thought it was interesting. Overall, look, overall, setting aside the people that aren't going to give any Caitlin Clark and they're going to skip over 2024 and all of that, I just wanted to report on it because do want to see the women's game grow. I have found some of these players in college now that I enjoy watching. There's been some great stories. Uh, I don't know who to root for, TCU and Notre Dame. That's going to be interesting. But I guess I'll be happy and sad at the outcome of that game. But it's good to see the numbers not completely collapse. I love that to see that with the women playing today. So hopefully that's something that keeps going. We move some of these ladies into the WNBA that are developing fan bases now because of, to be fair, also NIL because of Caitlin Clark, the Caitlin Clark effect, and that will help grow the WNBA as well. So anyway, let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. As always, appreciate you checking this out. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. You know you want to, and I'll talk to you later.